The New Orleans Pelicans traded CJ McCollum, Kelly Olynyk, and a future second round pick to the Wizards for Jordan Poole, Sadiq Bey, and the number 40 pick. And they used that pick, Micah Peavy.
Yeah.
So,
People like that. I don't know much about him, to be honest with you. He
so
wasn't on my board.
I say that to say, right? Like we both talked about how the Wizards have a really unique young roster full of young competitive guys. They also now have a mix of like interesting veterans because they have Chris Middleton, Marcus Smart, now CJ McCollum. So they got four veterans that are kind of interesting. Like, and I think that kind of tells me that the Wizards are trying to compete for like a 10th seed at least. I don't know, like what does this trade tell you? Because I think this kind of allows the veterans to take in these young guys, and kind of give them the torch to lead the Wizards to a new era, if that makes sense.
Um, I I don't think they're trying to push for a playing spot. I do agree that they're bringing in like veterans to mentor them, but I thought mostly this was just to try to free up cap space for next offseason. Because McCollum's on an expiring deal, and Poole would have one more year left, and who else they gave up? Sadiq Bey in that deal.
Yeah, they gave up Sadiq.
Yeah, and Sadiq Bey has one more year left after this season. So I thought they were just trying to clear up cap space to I don't know who the free agents are in that season, but I think that's the move. I think they're trying to develop their guys this year and get another high pick in the draft and then come back with cap space, hopefully like top overall pick. And
Yeah,
and then a bunch and then like a young core who could be rotational players on a contender. Which I think is smart. I saw people saying the Pelicans fleeced. I disagree with that. Like
me
Jordan
too.
Poole, his value isn't sky high because he is on a huge contract.
And I guess what do you think about the Pelicans? Because I saw people saying that the Pelicans have low key acquired a squad. But I honestly I really don't think if Jordan Poole is gonna be the head of the snake, I guess, quote unquote, because I don't know what Zion will be like next year. Um, I don't know. They're in like a unique position, I guess, to rebuild again.
I usually that's the thing. I just don't know what they're doing because they can't rebuild because they traded their unprotected pick next year to move up 10 spots in the draft. So like yeah,
Yeah,
I wish they were rebuilding, but you gave up maybe the number one overall pick in the draft to move up 10 spots to draft Derik Queen. I like Derik Queen, but like he is not like you were the fourth worst team in basketball. It's not like you were a playoff team or like a playing team. And it's not like, oh, we're gonna have Zion back. I don't know how many games Zion Williamson is gonna play. He's never shown me that he'll be able to play enough games for me to be able to bet an unprotected first round pick that's not gonna be worth something. And also it's the swap bets between them and the Bucks. So like God forbid Giannis gets injured and the Bucks
yeah,
suck
yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
suck, then it's two teams in the lottery, and the who they traded the Hawks are gonna get the best pick out of those. I wish I could see the Hawks executives when they were offered that because they had to have thought that it was a joke. I I wasn't a huge fan of the Fears pick at 7. I think Fears is a pretty good creator. I think if the shot comes around, I think he'll be a pretty good player. So I don't know why you trade next year's pick when you're the fourth worst team in basketball. And if you are going to do it and you really think that you could be competitive, you were the second worst defense in the NBA, and you had the um 26 most 3-point attempts, so you were like toward the bottom of the league in both of those things, and you bring in guys who are non-shooters, and you bring in guys whose weaknesses are defense. Trading up for Derek Queen was one of the worst trades that I've seen, like maybe ever. Like I think this is going to age horribly next year. You gave the Hawk to move up 10 spots. If you really thought Derek Queen was that nice, take him at 7 or trade back and take
Yeah,
him
yeah, I
at
see what
another
you're
spot.
saying. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
It did not make sense to me. It did